precepting scriptures. All right. So that's the understanding in Genesis 49 and dealing with Reuben. All right. So now let's deal with Simeon and Levi. Okay. They say Simeon and Levi are the Dominicans. Well, Simeon is the Dominicans. Say Levi are the Haitians. All right. This is what the chart says. All right. So let's verify that. And it's crazy how simple this is. Right. And this is why they say it. They say Simeon and Levi are brethren, instruments of cruelty in their habitations. Right. They say, wow, Simeon and Levi, the instruments of cruelty is black arts, the black magics, and the voodoo and all of that. They say the voodoo is the Haitians. Levi deals with voodoo, and Santeria is the Dominicans, right? So they deal in voodoo, okay? And it says, "Oh my soul, come not thou into their secrets." The secrets is the secret arts of voodoo. This is the breakdown that they say. Crazy, like the Haitians and Dominicans, the only ones that practice voodoo. What about what is it? Day de Muertos, the Day of the Dead. I don't know if I said that right. In Mexico, about the Mexicans. The Mexicans practice the Day of the Dead, right? Every year. Do you see how elementary like these breakdowns are? And brothers just run with this because it just sounds good about to them in the ear because their favorite teacher, but they don't go verify. How can we say that Simeon and Levi, oh, because they do witchcraft? But I'm just gonna use the Mexicans. In Mexico, they do witchcraft. All the different tribes do witchcraft. The Native Americans over here, they was doing hella witchcraft. Multiple tribes over here was doing human sacrifices and all of that. All right, for other gods. That's witchcraft too. And you had the back in a lot of different Native American tribes had like, in the teepees, you go see the witch doctor and all that, to go in there and do some seances and all that. That's all in Native American history too. So how can we just subject Simeon and Levi and say, and this is not even what it's talking about, first of all. This is absolutely not even what it's talking about. But we're going to get the correct understanding. But this is what they say. This is what they say. And just really think about it, brothers. Like, get your favorite teacher, get men out your mind. Think about what they're really saying. Like, it makes no sense. It literally makes no sense to just say the Haitians and Dominicans, they do witchcraft, so that's why they Simeon and Levi. All right. And they also, don't worry, we're going to also talk about how they divided their lands too. We're going to get all that, right? It says, for in their anger, they slew a man. They slew a man is them doing witchcraft, making voodoo.
Strong's G 4105, Planao. Planao.
Dolls breaking the leg and all that, killing. They do a lot of evil stuff, right? And in their self-will, they dig down a wall. Okay. All right. So let's get what this is, right? It says, curse be their anger, for it was fierce. Their witchcraft is fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. They do cruel witchcraft, voodoo, put a hex on you. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. So When it says I will divide them in Jacob and I will scatter them in Israel, what is it talking about? They say that this is talking about, oh, well, they're divided. They're on two different islands. You got the Haitians on one side of the island, Dominicans on another side of the island. But if that ain't even talking about, that says scattered them in Israel. It's not even talking about over here in the Americas. That says scattered them in Israel. So we got to go into the scriptures to verify that and see when they were scattered in Israel. That means that it doesn't just mean that they are on two opposite sides of an island. That makes no sense. That if that was the case, it said they got to be scattered where we at, because it says scattered them in Israel. That they supposed to be scattered all throughout Israel. But that says scattered them in Israel. So we got to in Israel that and see when they were scattered in Israel. That means that it doesn't just mean that they are on two opposite sides of an island. That it makes no sense. That if that was the case, it said they got to be scattered where we at, because it says scattered them in Israel. That they supposed to be scattered all throughout Israel. say the voodoo is the Haitians. Levi deals with voodoo, and Santeria is the Dominicans, right? So they deal in voodoo, okay? And it says, "Oh my soul, come not thou into their secrets." The secrets is the secret arts of voodoo. This is the breakdown that they say. Crazy, like the Haitians and Dominicans, the only ones that practice voodoo. What about what is it? De la Mortis, the Day of the Dead. I don't know if I said that right. In Mexico, about the Mexicans. The Mexicans practice the Day of the Dead, right? Every year. Do you see how elementary like these breakdowns are? And brothers just run with this because it just sounds good about to them in the ear because their favorite teacher, but they don't go verify. How can we say that Simeon and Levi? Oh, because they do witchcraft. But I'm just gonna use the Mexicans. In Mexico, they do witchcraft. All the different tribes do witchcraft. The Native Americans over here, they was doing hella witchcraft. Multiple tribes over here. Mexico, they do witchcraft. All the different tribes do witchcraft. The Native Americans over here, they was doing hella witchcraft. Multiple. Self-will, they dig down a wall. Okay. All right. So let's get what this is, right? It says, curse be their anger, for it was fierce. Their witchcraft is fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. They do cruel witchcraft, voodoo, put a hex on you. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. So when it says I will divide them in Jacob and I will scatter them in Israel, what is it talking about? They say that this is talking about, oh, well, they're divided. They're on two different islands. You got the Haitians on one side of the island, the Dominicans on another side of the island. But if that ain't even talking about, that says scattered them in Israel. It's not even talking about over here in the Americas. That says scattered them in Israel. So we got to go into the scriptures to verify that and see when they were scattered in Israel. That means that it doesn't just mean that they're on two opposite sides of an island. That it makes no sense. That if that's the case, it said they got to be scattered where we at, because it says scattered them in Israel. They supposed to be scattered all throughout Israel. But let's get the correct understanding, man, brothers. Let's get the correct understanding. So Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty in their habitation. So let's get this understanding. All right. This is the true understanding. What do I want? I want let's get Genesis. No, actually, uh let's get Romans. No, I want to hold off on. Let's get Genesis 34. Genesis 34. All right, brothers got to stop with holding on to these doctrines, man, that cannot be verified, and we create these false doctrines, false narratives. Now, I'm not saying you can't have like feel like you're connected to a specific tribe when you read through the scriptures. Like for instance, me, like in my heart, I feel like I'm connected to the tribe of Benjamin. That's just me. And it's a story behind that. I feel that way because when I first came into the truth, Most High awakened me, and I went to the bathroom early in the morning, kind of at the same time actually, because I stay up early in the morning and I study late at night, and I found the truth, got the truth. I went to the bathroom and I looked at myself in the mirror, and something within inside of me said, I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. Now, this was before I even knew everything about the tribes, but something within me said, I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. Now, that's my spirit. That's my feeling. I felt that. I do feel a connection when I read about the Benjamites, right? But at the end of the day, I can't verify that. So I'm not going to say just because I feel that way that this is exactly who I am and you got to accept me for that. No, I can't prove it, but I can feel like that all I want, but I cannot prove it. All right. I cannot prove it. So I'm not going to go and teach brothers and say, this is what it is. All right. So what was the cruelty that they did? All right. Let's get this. All right. So Genesis 34. Let's start at verse 11. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give. So this is dealing with Dinah, okay, and she got raped, all right, by the men of Shechem, by one of Shechem's sons, all right, and Shechem is like, look, can I have her as my wife? All right, can I have her as my wife, right? And then it says, ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully. All right. So Shechem wanted Dinah, okay, as his wife, and said, because he had defiled Dinah, their sister, and they said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. So we're going to get why the cruelty in Simeon and Levi. But in this we will consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. So they was like, look, man, we don't know, man. We're not going to, give you her, but on one cause, just get circumcised. If you get circumcised, all the men of your city will give you our sister. Verse 15. But in this we will consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, even every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, we will take our daughter, and we will be gone. So they was like, look, you got to get circumcised. Now let's see what happened after this. Let's go down and let's read verse 25. All right. Let's get verse 25. So it's like, Shechem in all your house, get circumcised, and you can have our sister. Right? Why were they instruments of cruelty? Okay. It says, and it came to pass on the third day. All right. So this is verse 35, same chapter. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. See? So it says, and slew all the males. They came with a sword, and they slew all the males of the city. Verse 26. And they slew Hamor and Shechem, his son, with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. You see that? So they slew, right, all the men of the city. And not only did they do that, this is instruments of cruelty. We're going to get the precepts. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. So they took all the spoils of the city. It says they took their sheep and their oxen and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field. Okay? It says, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. So they killed everybody. They killed everybody, and they didn't take no prisoners, and they took the men and women and children, right? So this was a cruel thing, because later you see, watch this. This was the cruelty that Jacob was talking about, because watch what Jacob said. This was a shameful thing that they did. This was not a good thing. Oh, yeah, the brother did right. They killed the heathens. No, this was not a wise thing. We're going to get it through the precepts. It says, because look at what Jacob says. And Jacob said unto Simeon and Levi, ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. So the thing that they did, Jacob frowned upon that. He said, man, look, what y'all did, y'all gonna end up causing me to go to war with the nations round about me. Y'all can't just be going crazy and just killing brothers like that. Y'all didn't even seek proper guidance or counsel. So when we go back, let's go back to Genesis 49. All right. It says, "Oh my soul, come not thou into their secret." The secret was they secretly was like, we about to kill Shechem and all his nation for doing that, right? Until their assembly, right? It says the instruments of cruelty were their habitations. "Oh my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly, my honor. Be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man." Who did they kill? They slew a man. Who did they slew? They slew Shechem and his whole house. And in their safe will, they dig down a wall and they killed the whole city and took the spoils. That's what it's talking about. It's not talking about no damn voodoo and witchcraft and their secret witchcraft, and they slew a man and put voodoo hexes on them. That's not even what that's talking about. That's pure example of how scriptures, brothers misuse the scriptures. Not even talking about that. It's talking about what they did to Shechem, right? And Jacob did not like it, as we read. So he cursed them. He says, "Cursed be their anger." It says, "Cursed be their anger," because what they did, it risked, all right, it risked them going and wiping out the whole seed line of their brothers. All right, Jacob said, "Man, we could have went to war with all of the whole nation around us for what you guys did, because you guys didn't even get my approval for what you guys did. You didn't even come to me. You just went off of your heart." Let's get Psalms 119. Psalms 119 and 12. All right. Okay. "Who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from secret faults." You see that? So this was an error that they did, right? Because they committed a secret fault. They used this secret and then they committed the fault. The secret was, once they got circumcised, they was going to go and kill everybody, possibly putting their brothers and their sister at risk to get annihilated, right? "Cleanse thou me from thy secret faults." Because what does the scripture say? Let's get this real quick. Proverbs. All right, so this is how you get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding by the scriptures. We don't have to fit. You see, I'm not fitting anything. I'm not trying hard to fit a narrative. I'm just simply going. This is how you get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding by the scriptures. We don't have to fit. You see, I'm not fitting anything. I'm not trying hard to fit a narrative. I'm just simply going to the precepts. And a lot of this is shown already and fulfilled already within the tribes. So let's get Proverbs, and I want 1 and 10. Let's get 1 and 10. So this is what that scripture is talking about. 10, and I'll read, let's see, I'll read through 16. All right. Look at this. "My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, Come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privately for the innocent without cause." See, they killed the whole city. They didn't just didn't kill Shechem in his house. They killed the whole city. Innocent blood was shed, right? That's why I was like, Abraham was like, y'all did that for what, man? Like y'all didn't even that. That's why he frowned upon that. It says, "Let us swallow them up alive as the grave." That's what they did. They went, they swallowed the Shechem and his people up alive in the grave, right? And whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. And they took the substance. They ransacked the city after they killed everybody and took the women and the children, right? We shall fill our houses with spoils, took the spoils, took the sheep, took the cow, took all of that. Verse 14, cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, walk thou not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. You see that? Feet run to do evil and make haste. They made haste because they didn't get proper counsel, right? This is what this is talking about. This is why Jacob was just angry at them. And this is why he said what he said. Let's get that. Proverbs 20. Let's get that. What are you supposed to do in every matter? Let's get that. Proverbs 20 and verse 18. Proverbs 20 and 18. Proverbs chapter 20 and 18 says, every purpose is established by counsel, and with good advice make war. It says with good advice make war. They didn't even go get they totally missed this. They just went and made war. Scripture says in all things, go get advice. They could have been the downfall of Israel. And that's why Jacob was upset with them. All right. I want Sirach and I want Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 8 and 15. We got to study, man. Brothers, y'all got to study and verify. Prove what I'm saying. Brothers, don't just believe everything your teachers of Israel say, man. Even me, go study it. Go figure it out. Don't just automatically run with it. Right? This is what I do. I don't just run with what brothers say. Brothers got to go verify what brothers be saying, man. And that's just to keep yourself safe. Even me, I'm not exempt. Right? Verse 15. So this is Proverbs. All right. Excuse me. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 8 and 15. Travel not by the way with a bold fellow, lest he become grievous unto thee, for he will do according to his own will, and thou shalt perish with him through his folly. See that? It says, travel not with the bold fellow. Right? In that instance, they were bold fellows. We about to go slay them. We about to go lay hand, man. We about to kill. That was a bold fellow move. It says, travel not with them, lest he become grievous unto thee. They were made grievous unto Jacob. Jacob was like, man, what are y'all doing? He was upset with them. It says, for he would do according to his own will. They did according to their own will. And thou shalt perish with him through his folly. They have folly in doing what they did. Right? That was their own will, and that was their folly. And that's what it's talking about. That's what it was talking about. Okay? Let's go back now. All right? So that's what that's talking about. And if you go back and you look at their response, even though they did what they did, they still wasn't humble. They told their father, well, should we make our sister a harlot? You know? And this is why they getting this judgment right here. So it says, Simeon and Levi are brethren, instruments of cruelty. are in their habitations. Their cruelty, we just got multiple precepts showing you that what they did to Shechem, that was the cruelty. That was the man that they slew. All right. They didn't go get counsel. And that's a wicked thing in the eyes of the Most High. It says, O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly. My honor be not thou united. For in their anger, see, so he cursed them. He said, man, they not honored, man. It says, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their safe will they dig down a wall. So Jacob didn't forget that. Jacob was like, nah, I'm hot at that. So y'all got to get a judgment for that. This ain't dealing with voodoo. All right. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I would divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. So what they did was cruel. You can write down James 1:19. All right. Slow to anger. Scriptures tell us to be slow to anger. Right. All right. So write that down. James 1:19. All right. So now what does it mean by they were scattered? He was scattered them in Israel. Does it mean that the two islands of where the Dominicans and the Dominicans and the Haitians are? Absolutely not. We're going to show you through the scriptures what that means. So let's get Joshua. Yeah, do I want Joshua? Yeah, I want Joshua. All right, so this is true understanding, brothers. The chart is trash, man. It's just the truth. All it is emotions and how you feel. We're not dealing with that. We're dealing with precepts. And furthermore, you cannot prove who you are by saying where we're at in the land of our captivity. And use scriptures that misappropriate scriptures that have nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with the narrative we're painting with the scriptures. That is dangerous. That is very dangerous. Brothers got to be careful with that. All right, let's get what this is talking about. Wait, did I get the right one? Hold on. Hold on, let's see. Hold on. Let's see if that's the one I want. Hold on, brothers. Yeah, that's what I want. Let me see. It's not coming up. Oh, maybe I missed. Let's put it in. All right, I got it. 19 and 1. All right, here we go. Joshua 19 and 1. All right. So, what does it mean that they were scattered? All right. What does it mean that they were scattered? Do I want Joshua? Actually, I want 14 and 1 first. Let's get 14 and 1 first. 14 and 1. All right, here it is. And we're going to read 1 through 5. It says, and these are the countries which the children of Israel inherited in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel distributed for inheritance to them. But Lot was their inheritance, as the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses, for the 9 tribes. By lot, was their inheritance, as the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses for the 9 tribes and for the half tribe, right? It says, for Moses had given the inheritance of the 2 tribes and a half tribe on the other side of Jordan. So this is talking about Ephraim and Manasseh. But unto the Levites he gave none inheritance among them. For the children of Joseph were 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. Therefore they gave no part unto the Levites. So the Levites didn't have a particular land. That's why you go to the map of Israel. All right, let's get that real quick. Let's get that. Let's get a map of Israel. Let's see. Here it is. All right, let's see. Which one do I want to see? Which is a good one? Here it is right here. Here's a good one. All right. Let's see. Let me see if I can get a better one in there. Yeah. All right, here it is. This is a good one. All right. So when you look at this, you see Judah, you see Reuben, you see Gad, right? You see all the tribes, you see Manasseh. But there's not a tribe or a landmass, right, or area inheritance for the Levites. Okay. You don't see it. Why? Because it goes back to that in Genesis 49, that the Levites in verse 4, for the children of Joseph were two tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. Therefore they gave no part unto the Levites in the land, save cities to dwell in, with their suburbs for their cattle and for their substance. You see that? So they lived in suburbs. All right, they dwelled in suburbs. The Levitical priesthood dwelt in suburbs in every single nation of Israel. So in every single nation of Israel, they had a suburb. Levi had a suburb within every single nation, province in Israel, from Manasseh to Gad to Reuben, right? They had a suburb there. Okay, they dwelt in suburbs, and the reason for that also is because since they were the Levites, you know, it'd be they had to dwell in every nation because they had to be the ones giving the oblations, giving the sacrifices, and ministering in the temple. All right. So in every nation, they could go to Levites that dwelt in suburbs within every nation, right? So they can offer whatever offerings they needed to offer. Okay. So they didn't have that. They had suburbs. All right. So now let's get. So we got Levi, but let's get Simeon. Well, what about Simeon? How was he scattered? Let's go through the precepts. And I want, 19 and 1. Okay. And the second lot came forth to Simeon, even for the tribe of the children of Simeon, according to their families. And their inheritance was within the inheritance of the children of Judah. So see that? Their inheritance was within the inheritance of the children of Judah. So they had to dwell within in Judah. See that? So the Levites were scattered all over, and Simeon didn't have his own portion of land, he had to dwell within side of Judah. Okay. And that all goes back. Let's go back to Genesis 49 in verse 7. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I would divide them in Jacob. See, so they were divided, right? So Levi, and scattered them in Israel. So Levi was scattered all over Israel, and Simeon had to divide his land within the borders of Judah. See that? That's what that's talking about. That's not talking about no islands over here in the Americas. All right? That is not what that is talking about. Okay, so brothers got to go and do their homework. All right, brothers got to go and do their homework. All right, and stop the narratives of, you know, just because we have a favorite teacher or whatnot, right? And we like, oh, we like brothers, and um, we with the accuracy, okay, of what everything is. All right, and deal with what the scriptures say. So this is why we don't take part in the 12 tribes chart. All right, now that's part one. Okay, that's part one. We're gonna go into part two at a later time. All right, but that is part one, and then we'll go into part two. I'm gonna break it all the way down from Reuben all the way to Judah to everybody. We We're gonna break it down precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Okay, it's not just good to say, oh, and you know what? Another point I forgot to bring out. Seeing that Simeon was amongst Judah, it's safe to say that, okay, well then that means that Judah and Simeon, Simeon, some scattered people from the tribe of Simeon were in the tribe of Judah. So how can you say who's Simeon or not when you don't know if doing and Simeon, Simeon, some scattered people from the tribe of Simeon were in the tribe of Judah. So how can you say who's Simeon or not when you don't know if during the whole scattering process of some of the people, the Semites, not Semites, some of the brothers from Simeon or the tribes from Simeon didn't stay within the borders of Judah during that time, right? Can't say that. All right, we can't say that didn't happen. None of that. So that's the first breakdown of why, but we're gonna break it all the way down. We're even gonna touch on Deuteronomy 33. We're gonna get the understanding of Deuteronomy 33 too. All right. So brothers, man, take that information. All right, and appreciate everybody for tuning in. Okay, and we're gonna go deep into it. Okay, I have a beautiful night. And love y'all, and study to show yourself approved. All right, but that we're gonna go into the wrong breakdown of Genesis 49. Then we're gonna get into the correct breakdown of Genesis 49. All right, with the precepts of the Mashiach. Shalom, family. Have a blessed night. Continue to